Many amusement parks around the United States bring in millions of guests per year. What we did is we compiled a top 10 list of the busiest parks per day. So it's not really rocket science or anything like that. We took the total attendance for the 2023 season and just divided it by the number of days that they were open.
Now, a little over a year ago, we did a video just like this, but those numbers that we were using were from 2019, and these numbers are from just last year, 2023. So these are much updated numbers.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Just a fun little list that we figured we'd compile. So starting off at number 10, we have SeaWorld Orlando. They had 4.3 million guests, but they are open 365 days a year, which means they only average 11,800 guests per day. Now, if you've ever been to SeaWorld Orlando, you'll know that it's not really like the busiest park that you can go to.
Especially compared to the other parks in Florida, they definitely don't draw in the same crowds, but it'll still get busy from time to time for sure. Next up at number 9, we have Disney Animal Kingdom with 8.8 million people last year, which averages out to 24,100 people per day.
Okay, notice that we specified Disney Animal Kingdom. Now, we do break down the Disney parks separate because each one does have a different total and each one is actually a separate park. So that's not Disney altogether down in Florida. That's just the one
Disney
specific
Animal
park.
Kingdom, yeah.
Next up at number 8, we're going over to California. We're going to Universal Studios Hollywood, where they had 9.7 million guests, which averaged to be 26,500 guests per day. That's a lot, and they're getting a brand new, top-notch roller coaster coming up, which should probably bump that up.
What is that, the Fast and Furious one?
Yeah.
That looks like it's going to be good because that park has definitely been more neglected than the Universal in Florida. So it'll be very nice seeing a big brand new coaster at that park.
So definitely expect to see those numbers go up once that thing is built because enthusiasts will definitely be trucking out there for that.
Coming in at number 7 is one of my and yours favorite parks that we've been to. That is Universal Studios Orlando. They had 9.8 million people last year, which averages out to 26,800 people per day.
Now, if you've been to Universal Orlando, you will know that this park definitely gets busy. And much like the Disney parks, hint, hint, we did separate Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios since they are separate parks and they do have separate attendance. But yeah, if you go to that park, you're going to know that they get busy. And just on average, they have over 26,000 people. So that explains why the park does get so busy. Now coming in at number 6. This is our home park and, little spoiler, the only non-365 day a year park on this list. And it is Cedar Point, which is only open around 150 days each operating year. So the fact that they made it onto this list is amazing.
And they also passed Canada's Wonderland, which before Canada's Wonderland was the most visited Cedar Fair park, and now Cedar Point passed them this past year.
So Cedar Point in 2023 had 4.1 million guests, which was an average of 27,300 people per day. So if you go to Cedar Point and you're waiting in a huge long line for Maverick or Steel Vengeance, you know exactly why, because they bring in huge crowds, similar crowds to like we had SeaWorld Orlando open 365 days a year, and they just had a couple 100,000 more people than a park that's open less than half that time. So kudos to Cedar Point, really growing and growing as even more and more of a destination park than it's already been over the past years. Now coming in at number 5, we have 2 parks that tied with 10 million guests each, and that is Islands of Adventure in Florida and California Adventure, which is part of Disneyland out in California. So that means that each one of those have 27,300 people per day. And now this is pretty big because Islands of Adventure used to always get less guests than Universal Studios.
Yes, Islands of Adventure is a much newer park than what Universal was, but now Islands of Adventure just took off and they're really putting in tons of investments into Islands. But Universal is not getting quite as much, so now Islands even passed Universal Studios Florida in attendance, which is pretty crazy.
And now they're building another park, Epic Universe, that will be open sometime in 2025. We're hearing May, but it's not, nothing is 100% confirmed yet. So really interested to see the numbers that park starts drawing, because
a lot. It might pass Islands of Adventure. Who knows?
Yeah, that park's gonna be insane and insanely busy. So
yeah,
for going the first year when it opens might be a suicide mission.
And coming in at number 4, we are going back down to Florida. Yet another Disney park in Florida. This is Disney Hollywood Studios. They got 10.3 million people last year with 28,200 people per day.
So if you go to Disney and you're like, why are there so many people here? You know exactly why, because there are, like, even their less popular parks, they are packing in close to 30,000 people per day at these parks.
Insane.
And at number 3, we're sticking down in Florida at Disney. We're going to Epcot, where they had 12 million guests in 2023, or 32,900 people per day. Epcot is one of the flagship parks in the Disney.
Yeah, definitely. It is one of the bigger ones, and obviously one of the most popular.
So Epcot, 12 million people, but now you're going to see a jump with these top 2.
Yeah, number 2, we have yet another Disney park, but this time it is all the way across the country to California. This is Disney California with 17.3 million people for the year, which is 47,400 people per day, which, again, is just absolutely ridiculous.
That's mind-boggling. No wonder, you go to these Disney parks and it's you have to plan these things out for a
for sure.
month of what you're going to do.
It's, Disney obviously has a big reputation of long lines and a lot of people, and that is the facts.
And that is why. Nearly 50,000 people per day. And keep in mind that this is an average. So if you go during a slower time, you're going to get less people.
It's not always going to be 47,000 people per day, obviously.
Yeah. But then if you go on a Saturday during spring break or something, or during the heart of summer, you're getting way more than 47,000 people. So keep that in mind. And at number 1, we are going back down to Florida. Disney Magic Kingdom at 17.7 million people per year, or 48,500 people per day. This is their flagship park.
Yeah, they've always kind of had this as their flagship, their main park. And now whether it is actually your favorite park in the Disney chain, I know a lot of people like Animal Kingdom and some other parks more, but this is their most popular, obviously, coming in at number 1, the busiest park in the United States. 48,500 people per day is just... that's insane.
Yeah, that's massive. Tons of people, and that's why whenever you get, that's why you have to reserve spots when you go down there if you want to ride anything. You have to reserve spots in the morning.
And anytime a new ride opens there, like when Rise of the Resistance opened, they had the virtual queues and people were waiting 8-9 hours to get on Rise of the Resistance. I know that's not at Magic Kingdom, but I'm just saying in Disney parks in general, it's insane.
So that is it, the top 10 parks in the United States. I hope you found this video fun and informative. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Give us your opinion if you've been to any of these parks, experienced the long wait times, anything like that. All sorts of comments help with the YouTube algorithm, pushes this video and our channel out to as many people as possible and helps us keep growing and growing and growing. Also like to take a moment to remind you that we do have a channel membership page. You can be like one of these people right here. They are channel members. They get things like exclusive videos, shout outs, pictures, stuff like that. And they help out our channel a ton. So thank you to all our channel members and thank you to all our subscribers. Make sure if you haven't subscribed already, you do it right now. If you like roller coaster amusement park content just like this.
Exactly.
We put things out all year like this. So hope you enjoyed. But that is it for this video. Top 10 busiest parks in the United States. So we'll see you guys next time right here on Beach Cliff Studios. See ya.